Men, don't make this major mistake. Men, don't make this major mistake. What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about men, don't make this major mistake, part 3. Men, don't make this major mistake, part 3. So before we get into it, would you please like, would you please share, would you please subscribe, would you please subscribe, would you please subscribe? I guarantee you, if you subscribe to my channel, you will have access to information on my channel that can potentially save you thousands upon thousands of dollars and save you possibly a whole lot of pain and suffering. And so today, this is one of the videos that is going to save you a whole lot of money, potentially save you a whole lot of money, and potentially save you a whole lot of pain and suffering. So what is the problem that I'm talking about today about men don't make this major mistake? Many times you have men that want their wife or they want their girlfriend to fulfill their bedroom fantasies. And there's a whole lot of men that's out there that's like that. And I'm about to tell you, if you do that, depending on to what extent that you want your wife or your girlfriend to do, it can end up costing you a whole lot of money and cost you a whole lot of pain and suffering. There was this woman that I met. I went to a particular event, and I met this woman, and it was kind of like a jazz event in this bar. And so the band was playing. They were playing jazz. It was a really good time. We had a really good time. I had a good time. So I met this woman. I went over and looked at, I was looking at her. She looked at me. I looked at her. She looked at me. And I went over and I said something to her. I said, hi, how you doing? My name is, told everybody I told her what my name was. My name is Kier. And we started talking. So she gave me her number. So anyway, she gave me her number. And she was telling me that her brother plays the keyboard. I'm like, oh wow. I said, well, I do some spoken word poetry, and so a lot of times I perform a lot of different places with bands and or without bands with my own music and stuff. And so anyway, we were going into it, and so we started talking on the phone, and I was like, oh, this person seems to be a really, really cool person. So we got on the phone, we started talking, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but eventually, you get into some intimate things later on. So she felt real comfortable telling me. This woman, like for an hour and a half or 2 hours, is telling me all the crazy, wild stuff that she does in the bedroom. So I was talking to her in such a way to make her feel comfortable to tell me as much as she could tell me, because I want to see to what extent she has went. And so this woman, like for an hour and a half to 2 hours on the phone was telling me all the crazy things she had done in the bedroom with different people. I was making her believe that I was into that type of stuff. And cause I wanted her to keep talking, because the more she kept talking, I'm like, God dog, this woman did everything with everybody. So I let her keep on talking, because I let her think that it was okay. And so I asked her, well, how did you begin starting to live this kind of crazy lifestyle? And so she told me, well, one day she was telling me that she had this boyfriend. And this is how she started getting into these crazy lifestyles. So I'm like, all right, what happened with the boyfriend? She said, well, this boyfriend kept asking me to do a threesome. Kept asking me over and over and over again to do a threesome, excuse me. So I'm like, yeah. I said, what happened? She said, well, I kept saying no. All right, so what, he wanted to do a threesome with another woman? He said, yeah, he wanted to bring a third woman in and screw around with me so that he can fulfill his bedroom fantasy. And so I'm sitting up here like, wow, okay, that's interesting. So this is how she got started in the beginning, by being convinced by her boyfriend, who kept asking her over and over and over again to fulfill his bedroom fantasy. So anyway, in the process of doing that, she finally said yes eventually. And so she started screwing around with him, this other woman that he brought into the bedroom. So anyway, what ended up happening is she started liking it, started really liking it a whole lot to fulfill this guy's bedroom fantasy, which she don't realize it ended up messing her up. So she not only, because of her boyfriend's bedroom fantasy that she wanted to fulfill after the guy kept asking her numerous times over and over and over again to do these things, what ended up happening was she did it. And then so she not only started getting into women because of this, but she started getting into threesomes, she started getting into foursomes. And I'm like, dang, are you serious? She said, yeah, it all started because she was trying to fulfill. It all started because she was trying to fulfill her boyfriend's bedroom fantasy and being in the bed with two women at the same time. So I'm like, wow, all this started because of this idiot. Yeah. And so she went on to tell me, look, what else did she do? She went on to tell me that her girlfriend's sister called her one day and wanted to come over. So I'm like, okay, so what happened? She said, well, her girlfriend's sister wanted to come over. She came over, and then she ended up getting her girlfriend's sister in bed. I'm like, what? So she's like, yeah, well, I got her in bed. We started messing around. I said, okay. Then she told me, well, her girlfriend's sister said, well, let's call my boyfriend. So the boyfriend came over and was screwing around with her girlfriend's sister. And so I'm like, are you serious? Excuse me. So I'm like, are you serious? She said, yeah, I'm serious. And so basically in a nutshell, and then she told me she was screwing around with some other woman. And so basically, what is the point that I'm making? The point that I'm making is, because of her boyfriend's bedroom fantasy that she wanted to fulfill, she started getting off into women. Then it expanded into getting off into threesomes, getting off into foursomes, she was doing all types of crazy stuff, to the point to where she was telling me about the drugs she was taking. I'm like, dang. And so what is the point that I'm making about men don't make this major mistake? There's a lot of men that forget that there is a law. The law is called the law of reaping and sowing, which means that what you do to another person, whether it's good or whether it's evil, can end up coming back to you. And so this guy, just to fulfill his fantasy, took some other man's daughter, have her get in bed with him and some other woman. Now he's introducing this lifestyle to her and introducing threesomes and foursomes and all this other stuff with this woman. What people don't realize is, based upon the law of reaping and sowing, this guy did this with her, who is some man's daughter. Now, according to the law of reaping and sowing, it's going to probably be some slimy guy that's going to come along to this guy's daughter or daughters and ask the same request of them, which is going to pull his daughters into lifestyles where she's messing around with other women, lifestyles where she's doing threesomes, lifestyles where she's in bed with 3 or 4 different people all at the same time. People don't realize that you will reap what you sow. And so what this guy had this woman do, who is some man's daughter, is probably going to end up coming back to him where some slimy guy is going to do the same thing to his daughter or daughters, period. You follow me? And then also, in addition to that, which a lot of people do not realize or understand the law of reaping and sowing, what men like this also don't understand is, I know at least 4 different situations where either there's 3 situations I know of where the women were somebody's wife. And this situation here where it was a girlfriend. And out of all these different situations, 3 situations with wives that want to fulfill their husbands' bedroom fantasies, in all these different situations, all these 4 situations, 3 situations with 3 wives, 1 situation with the girlfriend. In all these situations, all these women ended up leaving the husband or boyfriend for the other woman that he introduced into the bedroom with her. You follow what I'm saying? In all of these situations, all of these women left their husbands or left their boyfriends to be with the other woman that they introduced into the relationship. Okay? That's messed up. That's real messed up. Because many of these men, many men do not realize that people in the family are going to eventually find out why your wife left you. And when they find out that the wife left you or the girlfriend left you because she was interested in other women because of you wanting her to fulfill your bedroom fantasy, now you're going to look stupid in front of a whole lot of people. And not only look stupid in front of a whole lot of people, everybody going to know the real reason why your wife left you. And in a lot of those cases, the wife is with the other woman and the man is by himself looking stupid in front of everybody. Now, most men are not going to sit up here and tell other people in their families or other friends about what happened, but you don't have to worry about them not finding out by you not telling them, because your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend is going to tell your friends and family about why you left them, why they left you. And you're going to be extremely embarrassed because you're going to end up being by yourself because you want to fulfill some bedroom fantasy of yours. Then on top of that, since you introduced this woman then on top of that, there's a law of reaping and sowing. So since you introduced this woman who was some man's daughter to mess around with other women, to doing threesomes and foursomes with you, what you don't realize is that if you have daughters, probably the same exact thing is going to end up happening to you. Some sleazy man going to approach your daughter or daughters and will convince her to do threesomes, foursomes, screw around with other people, all in the same bed at all the same time. So you convinced a man's daughter to do this, which pulled her into all these crazy lifestyles. And now some other slimy guy is going to introduce your daughter or daughters to these lifestyles. So, would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? Would you please subscribe? I guarantee you, the information on my channel will help save you potentially thousands upon thousands of dollars and a whole lot of pain and suffering. Peace.